Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Godzilla Store exclusive Bandai Movie Monster Series Biollante Rose form. Now really quick, before I get into this video, I just want to say, if I sound a little different in this video, I'm a little under the weather. Nothing too serious, just a little bit of, congestion in my nose and a little bit of a scratchy throat, but, besides that, I'm doing A-okay, so, yeah. Anyway, this monster comes from the 1989 film Godzilla vs. Biollante, which is one of my favorites. I love Godzilla vs. Biollante. My only issue with it, there are English-speaking characters in the movie, and their acting isn't very good. Nothing against the actors, of course, but when they were on screen, those moments did kind of take me out of the movie, but still, Godzilla vs. Biollante, in my opinion, is an excellent movie. Biollante herself, specifically her, her final form, I think, at a technical standpoint, is, probably one of the greatest, monsters in the Godzilla franchise, because a lot went into, making her move and whatnot, and it's just really good stuff. So, Godzilla vs. Biollante is a great movie, and I definitely recommend that you check it out. So, yeah. I don't really know what else to say, so let's just get right into this. Like usual, before we take a look at the figure itself, I just want to take a quick look at the tag here. And for the cover here, we have a nice picture of Biollante in her rose form. Underneath here, we have Biollante here. And I'm not sure, I think this says Biollante, but I'm not sure what this says. Maybe it is rose form, I could be wrong. I can't read Japanese, I'm sorry, but there you go. Here we have the Godzilla 2023 emblem right here. On the back, we have a nice silhouette of Biollante's back here. Godzilla vs. Biollante. Godzilla Store exclusive, or Godzilla Store, I think. But it's not translated in English. But I do know that says Godzilla, so store, Godzilla Store. This is a Godzilla Store exclusive. I said that. I'm going to stop rambling. But yeah, no, we have Movie Monster Series right here, both in English and in Japanese. We have the Bandai logo. And we have some more legal information here. And on the inside, we have a nice silhouette of Biollante in a rose form, as well as just a bunch of legal information. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the tag here. Now, going back to Biollante herself, to start, we'll take a look at the paint. And the painting on this figure, I think, is pretty good. It's about on par with other Movie Monster Series figures we've gotten in the past, but I mean that in a good way. The painting here is still good, so let's take a closer look. So as you can see here, the entirety of the figure is casted in this dark green coloration, which I think looks very nice. And towards the front of the figure, it's very subtle, but we do have a little bit of airbrushing of this darker coloration towards the front, which I think looks really nice. Again, it's very subtle, but it does add to the look of this figure. Unfortunately, it's not really on the back here, which is pretty disappointing, I'm not going to lie, but still, it's on the front here, so it looks good here. Her stomach, spore thing, whatever you want to call this. This is painted a nice glossy orange. And the teeth on her Venus flytrap arm, tentacle things, whatever you want to call these. The teeth here are painted a nice yellowish whitish color, which looks nice. Going to the head here, we can see that the leaves on her head are painted a brighter shade of green, which looks nice. I wish this one was painted as well, but still, I can live with how it is. Still, it doesn't look too bad. Her rose here is actually not painted. This is actually casted in a, reddish, rose sort of coloration, and I think this looks nice. And the little teeth here are painted the same color as the teeth on her Venus flytrap arms, or tentacles, whatever you want to call them, but still, they are painted that yellowish-whitish color. And yeah. That's pretty much it for the painting here. Nothing too special, but for what it is, I think the painting here looks really nice. So the painting on this figure, I'd say gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the articulation. And the articulation on this figure is actually kind of surprising. It's a Movie Monster Series figure, so don't get your hopes up. But for a design like this, I'm actually surprised with the amount of articulation we have here. So let's take a closer look. So right off the bat, both of the tentacles here, or well, again, whatever you want to call these, They can move 360, though you do kind of have to bend them around a little bit to do so, so I don't recommend doing this, but still they can move like so. This leaf here can move forward about that much, and backwards about that much, though do be careful, because the vines here will rub up against the body here, so just be careful of that if you do decide to move this. And lastly, the head is on a swivel here, and it can move 360. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation. Again, it's not amazing, like, it's still a movie Monster Series figure, but, like, again, for a design like this, like, I'm actually surprised with what we got. I totally wasn't expecting these to, be movable. I was expecting just, these parts here, but no. We got, 4 joints, which is pretty cool here, Again, it's very simple, but it's still pretty neat. So, yeah, the articulation on this figure is good. I'd say it gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure, I think, is pretty much perfect. I think it's pretty much one-to-one to what we see in Godzilla vs. Biollante. And one thing I want to praise about this figure is that the vine-like tentacle things here, these actually look really nice compared to the original movie Monster Series Biollante, because with that figure, they didn't really look like, vines. They just looked like fat snakes. But here, like, these actually look like vines, and it actually looks really good. So, yeah. The sculpting on this figure, I think, is very good. So the sculpting here, I'd say definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the detailing. And the detailing on this figure, I think, looks very solid. So let's take a closer look. So right off the bat here, her rose head is detailed very nicely. All of the petals, I think, are detailed, pretty nicely. The defining here, I think, looks really good. And even, like, her teeth here, I think, look good, detail-wise. Her leaves, I think, are detailed nicely as well. Just a lot of really nice defining here. Everything is just very well defined. And all of, like, the plant, like, texturing throughout just looks really nice here. And even on this leaf here, it looks good. The torso, I mean, obviously, Biollante is a plant, but, very plant-like here. I like the little vines and all, like, the roots and whatnot. I think that's detailed very nicely. And even, like, this orange bit here has some pretty okay detailing. Her Venus flytraps have a lot of really nice detailing here as well. Like, the top here looks good, and so does the bottom. Like, everything here is very nicely defined. And even, like, all, like, the ridges and all, like, little stems, like, poking out and whatnot, and all, like, little thorns, I think, are detailed very nicely. And again, all, like, the little, like, all of, like, the vines and whatnot, I think, are detailed very nicely as well. Just a lot of really nice detailing here. Everything just looks very nicely defined. Not a whole lot at the bottom, but, I mean, who cares, really? Like, realistically, you're not going to be displaying her like this anytime soon. You're going to have her like this. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for the detailing here. The detailing on this figure, very solid. So the detailing here, I'd say definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll do some size comparisons. To start, here we have the Bandai Movie Monster Series Biollante, her final form. And really quick, I just want to say, it would be really nice if Bandai made a new Movie Monster Series Biollante that was, like, bigger. Because I like this figure, it's nice and all, but it's way too small, and it does not scale with almost anything. So, yeah, a bigger Biollante figure would be nice, but I'm getting off topic here. Here we have this little 3.75-inch Godzilla 89 figure. I forget the exact name of the line that this guy came from, but, here's a little Godzilla 1989 here. This guy actually scales well with Biollante, but, like, again, a bigger Biollante would still be nice. Here we have the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1989. And, of course, here we have some hand sanitizer. And here we have Dr. Billy Grant. So at the end of the day, should you get this figure? I'd say yes. Biollante's rose form is not really something we see represented very much, To be fair, I do prefer her final form, but I think her rose form is pretty cool too. So it is really nice to see, like, this, form of Biollante in the Movie Monster Series line, I think the painting looks nice. I think the sculpting, the detailing, everything here looks great. There's not a lot of articulation, but it's a Bandai vinyl. They normally don't have a lot of points of articulation, but, you know, still, like, overall, this is a nice figure, and I do recommend that you pick this one up. As far as price tags go, this figure is a Godzilla store exclusive, like I said at the beginning. So you can either get this figure from the American Godzilla store or the Japanese Godzilla store. I got mine from the American Godzilla store, which is why it took me so long to get this video out, because they're just now shipping these figures out. But still, I got mine from the American Godzilla store, and I paid about like 30 bucks. I would have preferred closer to like 26 to 28, but honestly, 30 bucks is still not bad. This is still a pretty nice figure, and yeah. If I did get this figure from the Japanese Godzilla store, it would have arrived quicker, but at the same time, the shipping would have been a lot more. So $30 would have turned into $50, so I'm glad I went with the cheaper option here. But still, I do recommend this figure. This figure, I believe, is sold out on the American Godzilla store, so it might be available on the Japanese Godzilla store. I'm not sure. Awesome Collector, I think, also sells this figure too. So, yeah, you do have a few options, but it's likely going to be through the Godzilla store, either the American one or the Japanese one. So, yeah. But, like I said, at the end of the day, this is a nice figure, and I definitely recommend that you pick this one up. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.